I welcome advisory committee members, Dr. Anil Kumar Vijay sir, Registrar, Sharnbasava University, Dr. Basuraj Matpati sir, Registrar Evaluation, Dr. Lakshmi Patil Mata ma'am, Dean, Sharnbasava University, and Professor Kiran Mata sir, Finance Officer, Sharnbasava University. Lastly, I welcome all the chairpersons of various departments, staff, students, and all the participants for today's webinar. I welcome one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, when it comes to investment decision, it's better to leave it to the experts. A good investment advisor can help you maximize returns and minimize risk. So from the expert point of view, the best option for your investment to achieve your personal goals is mutual funds. So in today's webinar, speaker will be talking about mutual funds. So now I would like to request Dr. Shobha ma'am, Professor, Department of MBA, to give introduction of guest speaker, Shri Ritesh Chaparia, Assistant General Manager, SEBI. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. A very good morning to all the delegates, invitees, and students. I take this privilege to introduce the first speaker of today's webinar, Assistant General Manager in SEBI and an MBA graduate with finance specialization from SBI Hyderabad. Sir has proven experience of more than 12 years, out of which 8 years with SEBI and 4 years.
Please unmute your audio option, ma'am. Shobha ma'am, please unmute your audio option, please.
Thank you, Professor Spurti. A very good morning to all the delegates, invitees, and students. I take this privilege to introduce the first speaker of today's webinar, Mr. Ritesh Chaparia. Mr. Ritesh is Assistant General Manager in SEBI and an MBA graduate with finance specialization in IBS, Hyderabad. Sir has total experience of more than 12 years, out of which 8 years with SEBI and 4 years in IT industries. For 5 years, Sir served in Enforcement Department of SEBI and presently working in Investment Management Department since last 3 years. I welcome you, sir, and the session is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sovna, for the kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to speak in front of this esteemed forum. We understand that with so much of uncertainty due to pandemic and the resultant fear of economic slowdown, there are obvious concerns of how to keep your hard-earned money safe and then, if possible, earn some return which can beat inflation. But here I would like to make it very clear that SEBI as a regulator and Amfi are here to create awareness about different investment avenues and address your basic queries like how to invest, whom to approach for investment, etc. We do not endorse any product or investment strategy. The idea behind conducting this program is to create awareness so that investors can do further analysis, reach out to registered intermediary to take informed decision of investment. Under SEBI Act, we as SEBI are assigned with the responsibility to protect the interest of investors in securities and to promote the development of and to regulate the securities market. It is our duty to ensure smooth and systematic functioning of the securities market. Even during these tough times of COVID, SEBI ensured that market was functional. As our today's topic of discussion is management of personal finance, and our larger audience is probable first-time investors, it becomes important to touch upon the subject of mutual funds and SEBI's role in regulating it. First of all, if you see the net AUM, the net investment in all mutual fund scheme as on 31st March 2022 was around 38 crores. And then just 2 years back in 2020, 31st March 2020, it was 22 lakh crores. So there is a difference of 60, there is an increase of up to the extent of 60% in the net AUM investment in mutual fund. This means during COVID time, also investors have faith in mutual fund investments, which has resulted in net increase of AUM. Bearing in mind the difficulties of like investing in mutual fund and fulfilling all the formalities while filing up the form and getting KYC done for new investors, SEBI has allowed the use of technological innovations which can facilitate online KYC to smoothen the onboarding process for our investment in mutual funds. This helps investors to complete the KYC, and one can start investing in securities market and mutual fund if desired without the requirement of physically visiting the office of the intermediary. Mutual funds are such investment vehicles wherein all categories of investors participate, may it be corporates, HNIs, investors, or retail investors. But the product is considered less risky for small investors like you and me, mainly because it gives the benefit of diversification and the investment decisions are taken by experts of the field. There are various ways in which investors can invest in mutual funds. Those investors who require handholding and guidance for investing in mutual funds can approach a mutual fund distributor or a SEBI registered investment advisor. For those investors who are knowledgeable and prefer to invest directly in mutual fund schemes without the help of any distributor or agent, direct plans have been introduced by SEBI. Investing in direct plan is like buying a product from the manufacturer directly, whereby the cost to customer would be lower as there is no distributor or agent involved. More investment through direct plans has many advantages such as lower transaction cost, more transparency, and lower instance of mis-selling. As saving of small investors is invested in mutual funds, SEBI is always alert and ensures good governance, transparency, appropriate risk mitigation measures, and fair valuation of portfolio in mutual fund industry. The investors in mutual funds buy and sell at daily NAV declared by the mutual fund schemes. Therefore, it becomes very important to ensure that portfolio of mutual fund is fairly valued. And for this purpose, after detailed discussion and consultation with market participants, a policy is put in place and is being reviewed regularly to reflect the changed market conditions. It is ensured that transparency is maintained in mutual fund industry. When I say mutual funds are required to maintain transparency, I mean detailed, true, and fair disclosures are required to be made. Primarily, daily disclosure of NAV, disclosure of financials of mutual fund schemes, disclosure of portfolio of each scheme, etc. Recently, SEBI has made publishing investor charter and disclosure of investor complaints by mutual fund on their websites and Amfi websites. Further, in order to facilitate awareness of investors after various activities which an investor deal with, SEBI has prepared an investor charter for mutual fund, inter alia detailing the services provided to investor, rights of investors, various activities of mutual funds with timelines, do's and don'ts for investors, and grievance redressal mechanism. We have revised the product labeling in mutual fund scheme, that is riskometer. Riskometer indicates 6 levels of risk for mutual fund schemes. The risk being low risk, low to moderate risk, moderately high risk, and very high risk. Normally, the riskometers are determined on the basis of general characteristics of the product. But now SEBI has decided the same shall be evaluated on a monthly basis, and mutual funds for any change in riskometer shall communicate it by the way of notice addendum and by an email or SMS to unit holders of that particular scheme. Recently, SEBI has launched Sarthi, SEBI's mobile app on investor education, with a view to empower investors with knowledge about securities market. With the recent surge in individual investors entering the market, and more importantly, a large population of trading being mobile based, phone based, this app will be helpful in easily assessing the relevant information. I'm sure that in coming years, this app will be popular among the investors, especially the young ones. Further, MF Central is the investor services hub conceived by K FinTech and CAMPS, powering a new era of collaboration by providing convenience to transact across folios for an investor with unparalleled user experience. Recently, MF Central mobile app is also launched for investors to sell the MF investment at one place. The advertisements issued by mutual fund are also governed by the laid down advertisement code. That is the reason you will not find any celebrity for endorsing any particular mutual fund scheme. This all is done to ensure that the adequate, true and fair information is disclosed to investors like you and me, so that we can take informed decisions. We put lot of efforts to earn money. Some efforts are warranted to ensure that the said hard-earned money is invested in right products. Regulators have made mandatory for mutual funds and other intermediaries to disclose the true, fair, and timely information. Now, as the information is available in public domain, it would be responsibility of the investors like you and me to access this information and take informed decisions for investments. As it is said that the world is not a problem, the problem is our unawareness. Therefore, steps are taken to create awareness among investors. SEBI participate in lots of investor awareness program, as well as organize investor awareness program, visit to SEBI, etc., to create awareness among investors. Participation of SEBI in this program organized by Amfi is one of these initiatives. You know, we are lucky to have opportunity to attend such programs and gather some knowledge on financial market. I would like to urge you all to share the knowledge with your family members, friends, and people around you. Informed and aware investors are like a backbone to the financial systems. No manipulations, fraud, cheating is possible in our system if investors are aware and active. We know that one satisfied investor will bring 10 more investors. This reflects confidence of investors in the system. This helps in development of the market and in turning the economy. Therefore, to ensure that investors in capital market are satisfied and their grievances and voice is heard, SEBI has put in place an online complaint redressal system, which we know as SCORES. SEBI has recently launched a mobile app for investors who want to lodge grievances against mutual fund, listed companies, or any other registered intermediaries. The mobile app SEBI SCORES is available in both iOS and Android platform. It is centralized web-based complaint redressal portal. If investors are aggrieved with any action or inaction of market intermediaries like mutual funds and or a listed company, and their complaint remains unaddressed by these entities, they can lodge an online complaint with SEBI through SCORES. Then we at SEBI take up the complaint with the concerned entity for timely redressal. If you wish to know further about SCORES system, kindly log on to scores.gov.in. It is important to note that mutual funds invest in different asset classes, and every asset class has its own risk and returns. Equity investments are considered to be risky investments, as these might lead to erosion of capital invested. whereas government bonds are considered to be risk-free. When it comes to making investment, it is important to be aware of your financial goals along with risk and returns associated with each investment product. While academic qualifications are important, so is financial education. It is said that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. When it comes to investing, nothing will pay off more than educating yourself. Do the necessary research, study, and analyze before making any investment decisions. Financial awareness is a must to safeguard investors from frauds in the market. People who are financially literate are less susceptible to the lure of schemes promising assured high returns in short periods of time. I urge you to always exercise caution while investing and choose the right intermediary and the right products to invest in. On that note, I wish you all the best and hope that this national webinar will be useful in the beginning of your investment journey. Thank you all. Hello.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your basic knowledge about mutual funds, why to invest, what is the benefits of investing in mutual funds, and how it is affecting for the development of the economy. So thank you, sir. Now I would like to request. Yes.
Dr. Spurti, good morning.
Good morning,
actually, Mr. Ritesh has to go for some meeting. If any of the participants have any question relating to his session, and they are free to just raise their hand, and he will try to address those questions.
Okay. Dear participants, if you have any doubts, you can ask to Mr. Chaparia, sir. Write on chat box or else unmute your option ID so that directly you can ask to sir.
Yeah, Mr. Sabdar, please unmute him. Mr. Chandrasekhar.
Okay, sir. Okay. Mr. Chandrasekhar, please unmute your audio options, please.
Good morning, sir. Is it audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Regarding this complaint, you told me that SEBI is one app. Because of this audible disturbance, I can't hear clearly. So could you tell me once again that app of mutual fund?
Scores. Scores is an app launched by SEBI wherein you can lodge all your complaints against mutual funds or any listed in company or registered intermediary.
SCORES.
Yeah.
Yes.
My dear Chandrasekhar, it is SCORES.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Next, Dr. Jayanti.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. I just have a clarification. Like, I've invested in a SIP actually for a short sum, like a smaller amount. And I would like to know whether I can proceed with that. Actually, there is an increase in 46% over a period of 5 years. So, will it be better to continue with it, or what is the status of it now, right now, the mutual fund market?
Ma'am, I will answer this question. Mr. Ritesh will not answer this question because he is representing regulator. But I can answer your question. Basically, it was your decision to start an SIP. Okay. And per chance you have got better returns during last few years. But kindly mind it, SIP is a long-term game. Okay. My experience said that you have to continue your SIP minimum for 5 to 10 years. Then the result will be definitely, history says, then the result will be definitely reasonable, rather sometimes very handsome. So if you can continue the SIP for longer period, it's better to continue.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Mr. Abdul Akil.
Mr. Abdul Khalil, please unmute your audio option, please.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah, my dear.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Sir, I want to know what is difference between index fund and mutual fund
Index fund.
and mutual fund.
Under mutual fund, there are different categories of funds which are available. Some of them
Yes, sir.
try to mimic the index. So
Yes, sir.
there are equity funds, there are debt funds, under equity funds and all. Some of the funds which try to mimic the funds are index funds. There is no difference. Index funds are also a kind of mutual funds.
Yes, sir.
My dear Akhil, just to add to Mr. Ritesh what said, index fund is also one of the mutual fund category.
Yes, sir.
Secondly, basically it is related directly to the movement of the index, Sensex and the Nifty. That is why the return I by and large as per index movement. That is why these are called index fund, because your funds are invested in the corporates which are top corporates and which govern or moderate index. Any other question from any participant?
Any questions, participants?
Because Mr. Ritesh will be leaving them.
Sir, one more question I'm having. Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, while is there any time period? I think from morning 9:30 to 3:30, in between this time period, shall I purchase any mutual fund? And after purchasing, the same day it will deducted the amount from my account, or it will take some time period?
From your account, it will be deducted, but the units will get credited based on the timelines. Like there is a cutoff time mentioned, which after, if you are purchasing before that cutoff time, the units will be of the same date. Otherwise, it will be of next date.
In this regarding, but I am having some facing because I have receiving the messages after 2 days or 3 days of the purchasing of the SIPs mutual funds. Is there any specific banks that banks only have takes place same day and other remaining banks will be having some extra time period to making the deduction?
No, as
My
soon
dear,
as
you might have, just to add to what Mr. Ritesh said, my dear, units are allotted to you on the day of the purchase. But the communication you receive after 2-3 days, so that doesn't matter, you rest assured. Units will be given at the price prevailing on that day.
Okay, that's I need, sir. That's okay, sir. Thank you. But the thing is that the amount which I purchased some units, that amount will be deducted from my account. Whether it will be takes on the same day or it will take some times 2 days or 3 days.
No, usually it is on the date of the SIP itself.
Absolutely.
Sometimes due to payment processing, it gets 1 or 2 days here and there in case of SIPs.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a holiday.
Even in regular days also, that means there is no difference of what I purchasing, what I am getting the units. In units, there is no difference. But the time period it will be takes place some 1 or 2 days extra.
Usually there is no difference. If you feel there is any difference, or if you feel that the unit should have been of some other date, you can always register a complaint or raise a request or ask your distributor. They will clarify.
And moreover, Mr. Chandrasekhar, processing takes time. Units are earmarked for you, but processing takes time.
That only I need, sir. The processing will take, but there is no difference in units what I am getting on the particular.
Yes, it is not. Exactly.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
I don't think we have any more questions. Mr. Ritesh, thank you very much for joining this program. So nice of you. This is the first program you have joined, and I hope you will continue to join such programs in future as well.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for inviting me over, sir. Thanks.
God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Spurti, you can continue now.
Yes. Now I would like to request Dr. Shobha Ma'am, Professor, Department of MBA, to give introduction of today's theme speaker, Shri Suryakant Sharma, Senior Consultant, AMFI. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Spurti. I take this privilege to introduce the second speaker of today's webinar, Mr. Suryakant Sharma. Sir is a commerce graduate and master in law with specialization in corporate law. Sir is also a chartered associate of Indian Institute of MBA in banking and finance. Mr. Sharma has over 35 years of experience in banking and finance and securities market, and has also served in the leading financial institutions in Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, and finally in SEBI. Sir joined Securities and Exchange Board of India in 2003 and served there for more than 15 years in different departments of SEBI. In addition to other assignments, Sir was also a DGM in charge of Office of Investors Awareness and Education in SEBI's Northern region for more than 5 years. Sir is also a member of working group of NCERT for developing vocational courses on mutual funds for students of 11th and 12th classes. Sir is also a mentor for few NGOs working for financial literacy and investor awareness in the country. Under his supervision, more than 15,000 financial literacy and investor awareness programs were conducted across northern India, and he himself has addressed as guest speaker for more than 600 IAPs. After superannuation from SEBI in 2019, Sir joined Association of Mutual Funds, an apex body of mutual funds in India, as a senior consultant North India. I welcome you, sir, and the session is all yours. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shobha. Thank you, Dr. Spurti, for taking the initiative in your college. Thank you, Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, and all the participants for giving us opportunity again. Dr. Spurti, you might remember very recently, we had done a program with
Yes.
your STM institution.
Yes.
That was a purely investor awareness program. And after that, a request had come from your side that we should have a program purely on mutual funds now. That is why this program. So I am thankful to you, Dr. Shobha, Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, and all your core team members who have taken this initiative. But 2-3 things I wish to clarify here before I start my session, Dr. Spurti. This program is purely an investor awareness program. It is not a marketing event of mutual fund, very honestly speaking. I am speaking on mutual fund only on your request, very honestly speaking, on request of the institution.
Thank you, sir.
Otherwise, we normally conduct general investor awareness program because people should not feel that we are marketing mutual funds.
Yeah.
Secondly, mutual fund is also one of the investment products. Please understand it. Not more than that, not less than that. You have got other options as well. So I will not impress upon you that you should go only and only for mutual funds. But of course, mutual fund is one of the best products available in the market as far as my experience goes. But there are other products as well. So please don't limit yourself to mutual funds only. I keep telling in my session, Dr. Spurti, that a normal investor like you and me, those who are middle class, salary class person, they should develop a basket of investment, which means that we should have not only governmental small saving schemes in our basket, like PPF, if you have heard. PPF is a very good investment product. Then Kisan Vikas Patra, National Saving Certificate, government securities investment through RBI Retail Central, and then Bharat Bond 1 and Bharat Bond 2. These are all also governmental small saving scheme. And the beauty of the governmental small saving scheme, Bhagyalakshmi ma'am, is there is no risk. There is no, of course, the returns are reasonable, but there is no risk. So those who are risk averse, those who want to take any risk, governmental small saving is a reasonable bet for them. But one more thing I want to add here, that in most of the investment, except governmental small savings scheme, my dear participants, some element of risk is always there. Please understand it. Except some governmental small savings scheme, risk element, Dr. Shobha, is always there in most of the investment product. So you have to understand the risk of the product before investing. And two very important elements on taking investment decision is your risk appetite and your time horizon of investment. These are two basic things you have to look at before you take any individual investment decision. So don't go what others are doing, because typically what happens is, Spurti ma'am, we follow others as far as investment. Most of us. Suppose your HOD is investing somewhere and Dr. Spurti knows it that HOD is a very smart investor. Then normally, typically what happens, Spurti ma'am will also follow her and invest it. It is a blunder we all do. Please never invest on the strength of other investors, because of the simple reason that they have got different risk appetite. Shobha ma'am has got different one, Spurti ma'am has got different risk appetite, Mr. Chandrasekhar has got different one, Acharya sir has got, Archana ma'am has got different one, because our income is different, our family obligations are different, our age phase is different, our social upbringing, everything is different. So why we should follow others while taking our investment decision? Please mind it. And secondly, we will need, Dr. Spurti, money not in one go in our life. We will need money in different intervals in our life. These we normally call milestones in our life. So for each major milestone, we will need money, rather huge money. So we should invest our money in such a manner that whenever I need money, I should have money. That's the basic purpose of investment. Suppose investment product is very good, Dr. Spurti, but it will give very good return after 10 years. And Dr. Spurti has got a milestone after 5 years. In this case, the product is very good, but it is not suitable for Dr. Spurti, because she will need money after 5 years, whereas the product will give return you after 10 years. That is why I again repeat, two things are very important for your investment decision. First is your risk appetite, and second one is your time horizon of investment. Now I come to the mutual fund, because I will not go on the general aspect of the investment, which Dr. Spurti might remember we had discussed last time. So today I will focus more on mutual funds, as has been requested by all of you. And I will be very happy if at least 4 or 5 videos are on during my session, Dr. Spurti, so that I can feel that I'm connected to somebody. If all videos are off sometime, if all videos are off, sometime a feeling might creep into whom we are talking to. If somebody, it is very natural being human beings. So first we should understand what is mutual fund. Dr. Spurti, like other investment product, mutual fund is also an investment product. This is the first request I want to make all of you. Mutual fund is nothing but indirect way of investing. You are not directly investing, Dr. Bhagyalakshmi. You are not directly investing into a particular corporate or a company. You are giving your savings to some expert, as Mr. Ritesh has just mentioned. It is an indirect way of investing in security market and beyond. So what we are doing in mutual fund, Dr. Spurti, we are giving our savings to the experts. Naturally, Dr. Bhagyalakshmi will ask me why we are giving our savings to them, why we are not directly investing. Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, there are two reasons, basic reasons. The first reason is most of the general investors don't have knowledge of the market. Most of us, we do have theoretical knowledge, but practically it is totally different. Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, you will agree with me. So we don't have practical knowledge of the market, which these experts have. This is the first advantage mutual funds has. Because mutual funds are managed by experts. They are experts of the market. They are experts of the finance. They are experts of the economy. They are experts of the risk management. So they are better placed to take a decision than us. Their decision may also go wrong. It is a possibility. They are not gods. They are human beings as well. But at the same time, their decisions are likely to be better than us because they have knowledge, they have expertise, they have experience in the security market. This is the first advantage in mutual funds. Secondly, we don't have time. Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, you have full-time job, then you have family to look after. So you don't have time to manage your money. They people have time for you. You are basically engaging them. Basically, what you are indirectly saying is, take my money, invest your money, my money as per my direction. Of course, direction, broad direction has to be yours only, because you will decide the scheme. They will not decide the scheme. They will come in the picture, Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, only when you have decided the scheme. So first decision will be yours, which scheme you have taken, after taking into consideration your risk appetite and time horizon of investment. So once you give them money, then they will invest your money according to their expertise, according to their experience, according to their knowledge. And secondly, general people have perception, Dr. Spurti, that mutual fund simply means security market. I don't think Bhagyalakshmi ma'am has got same perception in her mind that mutual fund is nothing but security market. My dear participants, I want to make it clear that, of course, a majority of the mutual fund scheme relate to security market only. But Dr. Spurti, there are schemes in the mutual fund which will be where your money will be invested into governmental securities. Dr. Shobha, there are schemes in the mutual fund where your money will be invested into property and real estate even. Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, there are schemes in the mutual fund where your money will be invested in gold. That mutual fund schemes are also there. Then there are schemes in the mutual fund, Dr. Shobha, where your money will be invested into international corporates, big corporates like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Dr. Spurti might have a flair of investing into these companies because they are so monolith, so big. So Dr. Spurti said that, no, I should also be part of the Google success story. You can. So, because in mutual fund, there are schemes which are technically called international funds, where your money will be invested into these big corporates. So in mutual fund, it is not limited to security market only, but of course, majority of the scheme of the mutual fund relate to security market. This is the first thing I want to tell you. Secondly, mutual fund have got three broad categories of schemes. Please, as far as security market are concerned, mutual fund have got three broad categories. Please mind it. The first category of security market in mutual fund is equity funds. In equity fund, as the name goes, Dr. Shobha, your savings will be invested into the equity shares of the listed corporates. Mind it. Your savings will be invested into the equity shares of the market. And you all know the equity price always go up and down every day, rather during the day itself. So the risk is greater. Risk is greater. And as Mr. Ritesh was rightly pointed out, that even sometimes your capital might erode. You might lose some capital, some of your capital, at least temporarily. So in equity fund, first understand that your money, your savings will be invested into the equity shares of the corporates. Since it will be invested into the equity share of the corporate, the risk is greater because equity share prices always go up and down. But on the plus side, Dr. Spurti, equity shares have given more than reasonable return most of the times. Please understand. It has given handsome returns. As one of the participants was just mentioning this, she has got 46% return through SIP. She must have invested in equity, one of the equity funds only. So equity fund has got risk, but there is a possibility of getting higher return. But mind it, Dr. Spurti and Dr. Shobha, there is no guarantee. Nobody can say, and if somebody is saying you he is lying, that it is guaranteed, it will be the guaranteed return. No, there is no guarantee. Probability of getting higher return is there. So, Dr. Shobha, equity fund is more suitable for those who are young investors like you, those who are below 35 and 40, because of two reasons. First, you can take some risk, Dr. Spurti. You are young, you can take some risk. If something goes wrong, no problem, you can rectify your mistake. And second advantage you have, Dr. Spurti, is you have got longer horizon to go. You have still 25, 30, 35 years to go. And Dr. Bhagya Lakshmi, I don't have that luxury, unfortunately. I don't have that luxury. So after a certain age, investing in equity might not be a good proposition. But those who are young, those who can take risk, equity funds are better proposition to invest, because most of the equity funds have given inflation beating return, or rather more than that. So first category is equity funds. There are a lot of subcategories of equity funds which we will discuss afterwards. Second category is debt funds. In debt fund, Dr. Shobha, your savings will be given as a loan to the corporate. Please understand the difference, Dr. Bhagya Lakshmi. In equity fund, your savings will be invested into the equity share of the corporates. But in equity fund, it will not be invested into the equity funds. Your money will be given as a loan to the corporates. And when loan is given, it is pre-decided in most of the cases, Dr. Spurti, what will be the rate of interest and what will be the maturity of the loan. Maybe 5 years, maybe 7 years, maybe 10 years, maybe even 1 month. So in debt fund, the risk is relatively lesser as compared to equity funds. But at the same time, Dr. Spurti, the return is also reasonable. Extraordinary return you should not expect in debt fund. And that fund is suitable for those who don't want to take high risk, very honestly speaking. There are a lot of people, because of age and because of their family circumstances, they may not like to go for the high risk. Then they can go for the debt fund, but they should then be satisfied with a reasonable return with lesser risk. So if you are satisfied with a reasonable return with lesser risk, debt fund is the category for you. And broadly speaking, it is meant for the investors who have already crossed 45, 50. So debt fund is suitable for those who don't want to take high risk, but are satisfied with the reasonable return. Now, third category of mutual funds in security market, Dr. Spurti, that is called hybrid funds. Hybrid funds are simply a combination of equity fund and debt fund both. It is a unique product. In hybrid fund, what typically happens, Dr. Spurti, some of your money will be invested into the equity, and some of the money will be invested into the debt. Suppose you have invested 1 lakh rupees, and you have invested in the aggressive. There are two categories of hybrid funds. One is aggressive hybrid funds. Other is conservative hybrid funds. In aggressive suppose you have invested in aggressive hybrid funds. Then in this case, suppose you have invested 1 lakh rupees, so almost 65,000, 70,000 will go into the equity market, equity shares. And the remaining 30,000 or 35,000 will go into the debt. So what will be the benefit, Dr. Spurti? On the one way, you are expiring a reasonable return on your investment, but at the same time, you are also balancing your risk by putting some money into the debt, where risk is lesser. So those who wish to enjoy the fruit of having higher return, but want to be cautious about not getting so much trapped in the high return scenario, then hybrid fund is the best category for them. In hybrid category, both the benefits will be available to you. And the other subcategory of hybrid fund is conservative hybrid funds. In conservative hybrid fund, Dr. Spurti, a majority of your money will go to the debt fund. Maybe 75%, maybe 60%. And the remaining 30% will go to the equity. So in that scenario, you are majorly covering your risk, but at the same time, you have some wish in your heart to earn some little bit more return as compared to debt funds. So hybrid fund is a category for those who wish to get reasonable return, or rather wish to have little bit higher return, but with abundant caution of taking care of their risk as well. So these are broad three categories. So again, first coming to the mutual funds. Mutual fund is the most transparent product. First understand it. Mutual fund is the first most transparent product. And before that, I want to mention one more thing. Mutual fund industry is strongly regulated by SEBI. It is a regulated product. It is not a Ponzi scheme. It is not a cheat fund. It is not a committee. It is strongly regulated by SEBI. Each and every aspect of the mutual fund is strongly regulated by SEBI, made with the investment philosophy, made with remuneration, made with the advertisement policy, all other aspects of the mutual fund industry is strongly regulated by SEBI. So please understand it, that mutual funds is a regulated product and is regulated by SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, which is the regulator of the security market. And mutual fund is the most transparent product, Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, as compared to other products. Mutual fund is the most transparent. Why it is? How it is transparent, Dr. Bhagyalakshmi? When you invest, next 3 days you will given the intimation how much units have been allotted to you. Firstly. Second, what is the current price of each unit, or what is the current price of your investment? This is you will get immediately in 3-4 days. Then every month, please note it down. Every month you will get a detailed report from the mutual fund company, which is technically called AMC, Asset Management Company, where your money has been invested. Suppose you have invested 1 lakh rupees in a fund, and like you, more than other 5 lakh persons have all invested money, and the corpus of that fund is around 5,000 crores. Suppose. Then Dr. Spurti, every month you will get a mail intimation from the mutual fund company giving each and every detail of your investment, where 5,000 crore have been invested, which corporate, which equity share, what is the number of equity share, what was the return last month, what was the price of that share last month, what is the price today, what is the change between last month and this month. So every month you get a detailed information through mail with regard to your investment, in where it has been made, in which company it has been made, what was the last month rate, what is the rest this month rate today, is there any change, that will also be shared with you. So through this mail you can very clearly specify and get the information whether your investment is earning reasonable return or no, and what is change. But by change itself you can make out what you have earned or what you have lost. So mutual fund is the most transparent product. And one more thing, one more step SEBI has recently taken, Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, that is, with every scheme now SEBI has made it mandatory and has attached a riskometer. A riskometer is attached now with every scheme. And whenever you open a scheme, Dr. Spurti, riskometer will come first. And riskometer will give you idea that the level of risk involved in that scheme. Riskometer is basically a barometer, you can say, simply speaking. Suppose you open a scheme and the key of the riskometer is tilting towards left. What does it mean? It means that it has got low risk. So they are broadly conveying you that in this scheme, the risk is lower. And suppose you are interested to invest in the product which has got low risk, then that scheme might be suitable for you. But suppose in some scheme, the key of the riskometer is tilting towards right. What does it mean? It will convey that it has got high risk. So riskometer itself is conveying to Dr. Spurti that Dr. Spurti, there is a high risk in the scheme. If you don't want to take high risk, better leave that scheme, better ignore that scheme. But if you say that I want to take high risk because I want to have high return, then you can invest in the in that scheme. So riskometer is broadly conveying to general investor what is the risk level in that attached with the scheme. Firstly, secondly, one more thing is there. Dr. Spurti, every month, if there is any change in the risk of the scheme, suppose last year the risk was lesser, but this year the risk has increased, riskometer will convey you the change in the risk. So you can also make out from the scheme, from the riskometer, what was the risk last year and what is the risk this month. Oh, sorry, last month, and what is the risk this month, whether the risk has reduced or whether the risk has increased. This will also be conveyed to you by the riskometer. Then there are two plans in the mutual funds of investing. SEBI has given you two plans of investing. One is Dr. Shobha, which is called direct plan, and other is regular plan. In regular plan, Dr. Spurti, you are investing your savings by visiting the website of the asset management company, by selecting the scheme on your own, and then giving the required information online itself. No paperwork is required. It is online investment, and basically it is suitable for young investors like Spurti, like Dr. Shobha, who are tech savvy, who can operate or who can manage their computer, laptop in a better way. So those who are young and those who have knowledge about the scheme, please understand it, because direct plan is a little bit riskier in the sense that you should first deeply study the risk of the scheme. Only then you should invest, because no third party is there between you and the asset management company. You are going to the asset management company website, selecting the scheme as per your risk appetite and your time horizon investment, giving all the required information online itself, attaching the documents, scanned documents, linking your bank account with the scheme, and then you are invested. So in direct plan, Dr. Spurti, there is no third one, only you and the asset management company. But suppose because of some reason you are not able to go for the direct plan, or you are not finding it convenient to invest online, then other option has also been facilitated by SEBI. This is option only. The other option is regular plan. The first was direct plan, other option is regular plan. In regular plan, Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, you will have to take the assistance of your local mutual fund distributor duly registered with Amfi. Please understand it. He or she has to be registered with Amfi. You first see his or her certificate and credentials, whether they are registered with Amfi, only then they can come to you as mutual fund distributor. So in regular plan, you will have to take the help of the mutual fund distributor. But one thing you have to be very cautious, Dr. Bhagyalakshmi, is that, and I again repeat to all the participants, never take the advice of the mutual fund distributor with regard to the scheme. Please understand it very carefully, Dr. Spurti. Never ask them which scheme I should invest. No, because we have got lot of complaints where mutual fund distributor have given you wrong advice, or rather advice in which they are getting higher commission and of the scheme which is not suitable to you. So selection of a scheme is your domain. Please understand it. And that you can make by understanding the credential or the contents of the scheme. And for that, the first and foremost thing you have to, whenever you visit a website of the mutual fund company, open a scheme. When you open the scheme, Dr. Spurti, a document comes first that is called fact sheet, FACT, fact sheet. And fact sheet, Dr. Spurti, is the Bible of the scheme. It is a Bible of each and every information about the scheme is given in the fact sheet. So you please read again and again each and every sentence of the fact sheet, rather than 5 times, rather 10 times, because more you read, more you will understand the contents of the fact sheet. So fact sheet will give you idea whether the scheme is suitable for you or not. And once you are satisfied that this scheme I want to invest, then call him, then call the mutual fund distributor and tell them very clearly, please bring the application form of this scheme, of this AMC and this scheme. Then they will bring you a specific form for you. Because again, I don't leave to them about the decision of a particular scheme. Scheme you should decide. And you can decide after reading the fact sheet of the each and every scheme. So then, suppose you are going for the regular plan, Dr. Spurti, they will come to you with their application form. They will help you out in filling the application form. They will take documents from you, required documents from you. They will facilitate your KYC if you are the first time investor, because if you are investing for the first time in security market, KYC, know your customer. KYC is a must. Like when you go to open a bank account, you might be aware we have to give a lot of documents to them, or Aadhaar card, or PAN card, and all these things, address proof, and all these things. So in security market also, you have to complete your KYC only for once, if you are a first time. But once you do it, then for every product is okay. You will not be required to validate your KYC each and every time. Only once KYC is done. And for KYC, even Dr. Spurti, SEBI has identified 2-3 agencies which are giving you the KYC facility free of cost. They are not charging anything. Please mind it. So you can do KYC only. Now, during pandemic, SEBI has developed the idea of e-KYC. It means online KYC is now also available. So after completing your KYC, they will take your document and application from you. They will deposit your application and document be checked to the with the concerned asset management company, and your investment will be made operational. But Dr. Spurti, you will appreciate that whatever services they are giving to you, coming to you, helping you in filling application, taking your application and document to the AMC company, depositing there, all this, it is not a social service. They will definitely get something out of it. And they will get some commission out of it. And that commission or fee, whatever you call it technically, will go out of your investment or return. Please understand it. So in the regular plan, some money will go to the distributor as fee or commission. So in regular plan, your return will always be lesser as compared to direct plan. Because in direct plan, nothing is going to a third party. But in regular plan, some fee or commission will go to the mutual fund distributor. That is why even for the same scheme, suppose you have selected one equity scheme, and Dr. Spurti goes with the regular plan and Dr. Shobha goes with the direct plan. The return to Dr. Shobha will always be better because there is no third person in between, but return to Dr. Spurti will be little bit lesser because some portion of your return or investment will go to the mutual fund distributor. So you please try to go to the direct plan, but if not possible, start with even regular plan. You can, because you are a new investor, you start with the regular plan. But now SEBI has given a new facility nowadays to investor like you. You start with regular plan, Dr. Shobha, and after 2-3 years, when you feel comfortable, switch your investment from regular plan to direct plan. That facility is also available. You can switch it off. You can switch from regular plan to direct plan, because in direct plan, since the return will be little bit higher, so you can switch it after 2-3 years when you feel comfortable that now you can manage your investments very on your own. So that facility SEBI has also given to you. Now, as far as equity funds are concerned, there are a lot of subcategories. I just want to narrate some categories. The first category is large cap equity fund. As the name goes, Dr. Shiva Kumara Swami sir, as the name goes, in large cap equity fund, your savings will be invested into the large corporates, into the equity share of the large corporates. When your savings will be invested in the large corporates, the advantage of this, that Dr. Spurti, is those large corporates are already well established. There are big names in India, TCS, Reliance, lot of big names, Infosys. I can count of 100 of those big names. So your money will be invested into the large cap, means large corporates only. And one more thing you should understand, fund manager don't have discretion to go beyond that. Large cap strictly means large cap only. He or she cannot invest your money in mid cap or small cap. The limitation is there. He can invest from one corporate to other. That flexibility he or she has got, but he can't go beyond the category. Mind it. That is why large cap simply means your savings will be invested into the large corporate. Then large cap and mid cap. Second category is large cap and mid cap. Means some of your money might be invested into the large cap and some of your money will invested into the mid cap. Mid cap, large cap, small cap, Dr. Shiva Kumar Swami sir, it is basically a categorization as per market capitalization of particular corporate. Those corporate, technically speaking, of course, these are all technical things. A lot of people might not be interested. Technically speaking, a corporate which has got a market capitalization of more than 37,000 crore are large cap corporates. Those between 17,000 to 37,000 crores are mid cap. And those below 17,000 crore market capitalization are small cap. But these are all technical things. But broadly speaking, large cap means established corporates. Those who are performing very well, those who have been in the business for pretty long time, those their management has proven their track record, those who are consistently earning profit and have got a good reputation. Mid cap means those who are neither large cap nor small cap, but in between. And small cap simply means those who are newer corporates, those who are recently listed. They have not proven their track record. They are newly entrant, you can say, in the corporate world. But small cap can be mid cap after some time, and mid cap can also be large cap after some time. It is a journey. Dr. Shiva Kumara sir, you might remember when Infosys started its journey in 1995, there were hardly takers of the Infosys share. Because it was a new company, very small one. Not track record, not proven at all. People were not aware about it. But slowly they started build up their image, built up their product, their management was proven. So over a period of time, starting from a small cap, they become large cap. Now it is a monolith, one of the best Indian companies we have got. So it is a journey from small cap to mid cap to large cap. It is a journey. Of course, sometime reverse may also happen. Large cap might not be performing well for quite some time. Then they will come down from large cap to mid cap even. So that possibility is also there. But journey normally starts from small cap to mid cap to large cap. So the second category is large and mid cap. And third category is multi-cap equity fund. In multi-cap equity fund, as the name goes, your savings can be invested large cap, mid cap, and small cap, all three. Of course, internal proportions are decided, 30, 30, 30 or 35, 30, whatever it is internally decided. But they can invest in all categories of corporates. Then small cap simply means corporates who have new entrants in the corporate world. They have not proven their record, but they have got potential. So in small cap, Dr. Shivkumar sir, typically what happens? They have got highest risk, but they have got highest potential. They have got highest because they can grow. They can grow to any limit. So in small cap, risk is relatively greater, but at the same time, they can grow and they can make a magic for the investor. And they're all so-called large cap, Dr. Shivkumar sir, at one time used to be very small corporates. And those who purchased the shares of the small company at that time, Dr. Swami, you might not be aware, in 1995 when Infosys share came, and a person like Dr. Shiva Kumara who invested 10,000 rupees at that time. Are you aware, sir, what that 10,000 has become today? Bhagya ma'am, Spurti ma'am, that 10,000 has become now 60 lakhs. That's the magic of a corporate fund. Of course, reverse might have happened. You might have invested in some corporate which are no more existent today. That possibility is also there. But in most of the good corporates, if your decision of investing in good corporates over a period of time, you can get a better return. Then flexi cap is there. Flexi cap equity fund. In flexi cap equity fund, Swami sir, fund manager had got flexibility to maneuver as per the market conditions. Suppose he sees that next 6 months are going to be for the large corporates, then he can shift a majority of the fund from mid cap to large cap. After 6 months, suppose he sees now that next 6 months are going to be for mid cap corporates, then he can or she can shift from large cap to mid cap funds. So flexibility he has got. That flexibility gives him advantage of maneuvering. And through maneuvering, the purpose is very simple, to earn maximum return for the investor. And then last category of equity fund is ELSS. ELSS is there. Basically, these are tax-saving mutual funds where 3-year lock-in period is there. And up to 1.50 lakh, Dr. Spurti, you can invest in those funds under Section 80C. But the limitation is that for next 3 years, you can't make use of that money. They are blocked. So 3-year blocking period is there because you are availing tax benefits. Then other is, apart from that, sectoral funds, equity funds are also there. Banking equity funds, FMGC equity funds, infrastructure sector equity funds, pharma equity fund, technology equity funds, then thematic equity fund, then MNC equity funds, and then energy equity funds, then PSU equity fund. These are all subcategories. Why it has been created, Dr. Shivakumar sir? Because people have got different flair. Dr. Shivakumar sir, I want to invest in pharma only, pharma industry only. It is going to give me very return. But Shobha ma'am says, no, banking is going to give very good return next 5 years. Okay. Then third one say, no, FMGC may give you better return. So for all the different categories of investors, these categories have been created. The second category of mutual funds, as I discussed, is debt fund. Debt fund, as we discussed, Dr. Spurti ma'am, is where your money is given as a loan to the corporates. And one more beauty of mutual funds are there. In mutual fund, Dr. Shivkumara sir, there are schemes as per your risk appetite. Suppose you have got a high risk, equity funds are there. You have got a moderate risk, hybrid funds are there. If you have got low risk appetite, then debt funds are there. Likewise, suppose you want to invest even for a single day or rather overnight debt funds are there where your money will be invested only for one night. But suppose you are interested to invest your money for a very short period of 3 months, 60 days, 1 month, then liquid funds are there. In liquid funds, your money will be invested mostly, Dr. Swami, in money market. It will not be given as a long-term loan, but invested in the money market. And in money market, even liquid funds, you might not be aware, Dr. Spurti, even today where the liquidity is relatively easing or liquidity is there, liquidity funds are giving you return of around 3.5% to 3.75%. And Dr. Swami, I know a lot of my friends and a young investor like Dr. Shobha and Dr. Spurti, they have started a new practice in their risk management, in cash management. Suppose Dr. Spurti get a monthly salary of 50,000. Of course, salary might be much more than that. But just for example, Dr. Spurti, you are getting 50,000 salary per month. First, you get the salary. After, and what you do, you simply transfer your 50,000 from your bank account to the liquid fund. And Dr. Swami, that is now possible through app only. No need to go anywhere else. You just download the app of a liquidity fund of any MC, and support what Dr. Spurti is doing. She is transferring every month when she gets salary from her bank account to the liquidity fund, 50,000. Naturally, Dr. Spurti will ask why I should do this. Yes, ma'am. There are two benefits. First benefit is in savings bank account, Dr. Swami, you might be aware, you are earning hardly 2.5% return, that too on average basis. In liquid fund, you are earning more than 3.5% return every day. Every day you are getting return of around 3.5%. So the return is higher as compared to your SB account. This is the first benefit. Second benefit is, in liquid fund also, Dr. Swami, like your bank account, money is at your disposal. Whenever you want, you can take away the money. Suppose on 5th, Dr. Spurti need 10,000 rupees. Normally what she will do, she will withdraw the money from ATM. Here again, what you can do, you go to the app, put 10,000, click withdraw button, 10,000 would instantly be transferred to your bank account. So money is always available to you. At any time you can withdraw money. Only limitation is, Dr. Spurti, you can't withdraw more than 50,000 on a single day. That is limitation is there. More than 15,000 you can't withdraw, but next day again you can withdraw 50,000, but on a single day you can withdraw 50,000. So liquid fund are a basically better cash management for the middle class, salary class person, where we can earn relatively higher return. Suppose, Dr. Swami, you have to pay an EMI after quarterly EMI after 3 months of 50,000 or 60,000. What do you normally do? You keep the money in your bank account. But there is other way around. You can take, you can put that money of 50,000 from your bank account to some liquid fund and earn better return for 3 months. And then take away whenever you want money and pay the EMI. So liquid fund are basically debt funds for shorter period up to 3 months and will normally give you better return as compared to your bank account, and it is a better way of your cash management. Then mid-cap debt funds are there. In mid-cap, it is up to 1 year to 3 years. You give your money, you invest your money for 1 to 3 years. Then medium to large cap is there, then 3 to 5 years. And then if you want to invest more than 5 years, then other large cap debt funds are there. So large cap funds are there, medium term debt funds are there, liquid funds are there. or then overnight funds are there. These are all debt fund schemes where you can earn better return as compared to your normal FD and normal SB account. Then hybrid funds, as I just mentioned, there are hybrid funds. There are two categories. One is aggressive hybrid funds, where majority of your fund go to the equity and a small portion of your saving goes to the debt fund. On the contrary, if it is a conservative hybrid fund, majority of your funds will go to the debt fund in the debt given as a loan to the corporate, and a small fund of your will go as a debt portion or in an equity fund. So these are major categories of the mutual fund. Now, 2-3 very unique features of the mutual fund I want to share with all of you. The first magic of the mutual fund, and my dear participant, please be attentive now, because this is the magic for the middle class. Dr. Swami, wherever you are, please keep your video on, if possible. So this is the magic for the middle class, salary class person in mutual fund. And Dr. Shobha, it is called SIP, Systematic Investment Plan. SIP is a magic for the middle class, salary class person, my dear participants. SIP, Dr. Spurti, simply means a recurring account. What we do, you must have opened a recurring account with your bank or post office. What we do, we deposit regularly a fixed amount every month on a particular date. In SIP also, you are investing some money fixed by you in the scheme identified by you for a regularly. And the minimum SIP amount, Dr. Spurti, is 500 rupees. But even for students, some AMC started SIP of even 100 rupees. So students, I will encourage to start an SIP out of their pocket money of 100 rupees in a good index fund or a good large cap fund to start with. So SIP is basically regularly investing an amount. And Dr. Spurti, SIP is a magic. Because if you continue investing an amount regularly for good period, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years, maybe 20 years, a magic may happen in your life. Because over a period of time, you may get a very good, handsome corpus by investing very small amount. I just want to give you a very, very specific example of SIP, how SIP works. But I will not be able to mention the name of the scheme or name of the mutual fund company, because that will be unfair. Dr. Spurti, you will appreciate it will be unfair on my part. That will be marketing of the, but facts are there. Please understand, whatever I am sharing with you are facts of the one of the equity fund scheme of a mutual fund company. One mutual fund, please, and all participants, please understand it very, very carefully. A mutual fund company started an equity fund in 1995. Please note down the dates as well, because dates are more relevant here. Periods are. Dr. Shobha, a mutual fund company started an equity fund in 1995. And a smart investor like Dr. Swami, Dr. Shobha or Dr. Spurti started an SIP of 10,000 rupees every month. Simply means that you are investing 10,000 rupees every month on a particular date every month. Right from please note down the dates because these are more important. Right from 1995 to 2020, Dr. Spurti, you have been investing 10,000 rupees per month, every month. And during this period, Dr. Spurti, market might have gone up. Lot of times, market might have come down. Market might have touched, Swami sir, to bottom, and market might have turned peak or 62 or 30 or rather less than that. But Dr. Swami Shiva Kumara Swami Sam, he is a very smart investor. He never missed an SIP. Never. Every month he is religiously investing that amount. Every month. Because typically what happens, Swami sir, when market goes up, people come and start investing, getting profit, and they feel happy. When the market goes down, they become scary. Or Baba, no, I will lose some money. So they withdraw their money. And this is the blunder they do. I am specifically mentioning Dr. Spurti. This is the blunder they, and most of the people do this. But please ignore the movement of the market. You are a long-term investor. And Swami sir, going up and down is the basic character of the market. Market will always go up and down. Always. Always. Today market is at 53. Before 2-3 months, market was at 62. Sir, you might remember. And again, market may go to 75, 80 after some time. That possibility is also there. Or may even touch 40. So market will always move up and down. But Dr. Spurti, you should never look at the movement of the market. You should consistently and regularly invest a particular amount every month. So Dr. Spurti, again I come to the example. An SIP was started by Spurti of 10,000 rupees per month in a good equity fund right from 1995, and she is still continuing in 2022. I know Dr. Shivakumar will not tell what the corpus he has got now in that scheme, but I can disclose his corpus. My dear participants, Mr. Shivakumar has now got a corpus of 9.57 crore. 9.57 crore. That's the magic of SIP. That's the magic. But 2-3 things are there. Please understand very carefully. No guarantee I am giving. But historically speaking, this process is on, and Dr. Swami, I don't know whether you will agree with me or not, but I am of the personal opinion, next 25 years are going to be golden period of Indian economy. But only for those who will be investors. Only Spurti ma'am, only for those who are investors. And there are 2 categories of person, Dr. Swami. 95% is the first category, who go to the stadium, take popcorn, eat popcorn, take cold drink, clap for the players and come home. They simply get entertainment, not more than that. But there is other category of persons, Dr. Swami, who they are players. They get money, they get fee, they get advertisement, they get fame, everything they get. So though I will urge all of you to be investor, to be player. Don't be a spectator, just clapping for the others when they make money. You can also make money. But only thing required is consistency, regularity, patience. These are the basic success, basic intrinsics of the investment success stories. So SIP is a magic for the middle class, salary class person, and those who are young, like Dr. Spurti, Dr. Shobha, and all who are below 40. I will request all of you, take my advice seriously. Start an SIP of a reasonable amount, but continue it for years. Normally what happens, people start a SIP, when after 2-3 years they stop it or they don't continue it. Please continue it for minimum 10, 15, 20 years, Dr. Shobha. And if you continue, magic will happen in your life. Rest assured, this is my experience I am saying there. And one more thing I want to tell Dr. Swami here. I know a lot of my friends, young friends, like Dr. Shobha and Dr. Spurti. They have started more than one SIP, not one SIP, more than one SIP. That is target-oriented SIP. One SIP for purchase of a house, other SIP for purchase of a vehicle, third SIP for going on vacation, fourth SIP for higher education and professional education of children, fifth SIP for even for their retirement plan. So Dr. Shobha, you can have more than one SIP. And nowadays, Dr. Swami, one more facility has been added in SIP. That is called top-up facility. Top-up facility simply means, suppose Dr. Spurti, you started a SIP of 5,000 today. But after 2 years, you feel that I can now increase it from 5 to 7, that you can do it. So top-up facility in SIP is also not available. So I will urge all your young participants, please do consider starting a SIP in a good large cap or an index fund to begin with. And if you want to start more than one SIP, that is your decision. You can think of that also. And even your students should start an SIP of 100 rupees out of their pocket money, because by the time they start earning down the line in 2-3 years, they will have better idea how mutual fund and investment works. So it is a right time for them to start an SIP of even 1,000 rupees. The second feature of the mutual fund, Dr. Swami, is STP. I have just talked about the SIP. Now I am talking about STP. STP means systematic transfer plan. STP is basically useful when you have a lump sum amount with you and you want to invest. In mutual fund, and please don't invest your money in one go. Normally, never do this. Because suppose, Dr. Spurti, you have got 5 lakhs rupees today. You got some bonus, you got some incentive, and you have got 5 lakhs rupees with you. The one option is you invest 5 lakh rupees in a good mutual fund, equity fund. But that is not nice. That is not proper. What you should ideally do, you should first invest this 5 lakh into some liquidity fund to start with. You should put your money in some liquid fund. Then start an STP. STP means systematic transfer plan from your liquid fund to your designated fund where you want to invest for the longer period, some equity, some other liquidity fund. So STP means, suppose you invested 5 lakh rupees in a liquid fund, then from liquid fund, every week or every fortnight or every month, Dr. Spurti, 50,000 is going from liquid fund to your fund where you want to. So gradually it is going, not lump sum, not in one go. What will be the benefit? Suppose today the market is 53. After 1 month, market might be 52 or 50. Then you will get more units. And suppose third month market may go 55. Then you may get lesser units. But overall, a balancing of your risk will be there, and you will get better units or more units in an overall period of 5 to 6 months when your money will be transferred from your liquid fund to the designated fund. So STP is meant for when you have a lump sum amount. And the last feature of the mutual fund, that is called, Dr. Swami, it might be more useful for you. That is called SWP, Systematic Withdrawal Plan. First, I talk about SIP, then I talk about STP, and now I am talking about SWP. SWP, Dr. Spurti, simply means Systematic Withdrawal Plan. It is basically opposite of SIP. In SIP, Dr. Swami, we were investing regularly, and in every human being's life, a age will come, Dr. Swami, when we get retired. And when we get retired, we might not be getting the regular salary which we were getting when we were in service. So the first question arises, how I manage my monthly affairs, from where I will get the money from managing my monthly. And it is more important, Dr. Swami, where people don't have pension. I don't know about your university, but normally even government employees don't have pension. So what to do? Suppose Dr. Swami has been very smart. He has been accumulating very good amount for his retirement life. He has been very smart. And he has accumulated 5 crore rupees for his retirement life. That is very necessary. Spurti, I want to alert all of you, even Dr. Spurti, Dr. Shobha, and those who are young, even students, they should understand that Dr. Spurti, right from the day you start working, you should think about contributing some money for your retirement life. Right from the day one, because you will need a huge amount. So suppose Dr. Swami has had accumulated a corpus of 5 crore rupees. And now next month he is going to retire. And after retirement, he wouldn't be having regular income. What to do? From where get the money to live a life as we have been living together? Yes, sir. There is a facility in mutual fund. Suppose you have got a corpus of 5 crore rupees in a mutual fund scheme. You simply write a mail to them, Dr. Spurti. You simply write a mail to them that from next month onwards, please keep transferring 1 lakh rupees or 1,50,000, whatever you want, from my corpus to my bank account on first. A simple one line mail, one sentence mail will do. They will keep transferring a particular amount from your corpus to your bank account every month on first. The first benefit, Dr. Swami, will be you get the reasonable amount in your bank account on first, even after retirement, and you can enjoy your life as you were enjoying earlier. Second benefit is whatever corpus remain with them, whatever corpus remain with them. Suppose you have withdrawn 1.5 lakhs in the first month of your retirement. The remaining corpus with them, or out of you have got a corpus of 5 crore. So there will remain a corpus of 4.98 lakhs, 4 crore 98 lakhs 50,000 after 1 month. That corpus is continuously invested and you are earning in return on it. So down the line, if you want to increase your monthly withdrawal from 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs, that you can do, because you are earning reasonable return on your corpus also. So an SWP is tax efficient also, because you will have lesser tax liability. Whatever you withdraw as a principal will not be taxed. Only the portion of return which you have got on your corpus will be taxed as per your slab. So SWP is a better proposition for living life in a retirement life, but for that, one precondition and most important precondition, Swami sir, is there. You have to develop a huge corpus for your retirement life. That is a precondition. Then you can enjoy your life. And one more thing I want to say, Swami sir, because of inflation, suppose at the age of 60 you need 2 lakh rupees per month. Suppose you say that 1.5 or take it. Suppose you say that you will need 1.50 lakhs at the age of 60. But Dr. Swami, when you enter the 70, that from 1.50 it might increase to 2 lakh or 2 lakh 50,000. And when you become 80, and nowadays, Dr. Swami, the average age of Indians is increasing like anything. Most of the people are living up to beyond 75, 80 even. So even after retirement, you will have to live 20, 25 years. From where that money will come? That is why developing a retirement corpus is very, very, very important. And then judicially withdrawing that. That again, I want to say, you have to withdraw your corpus judiciously every month so that you can live your life, enjoy your life as you were living earlier. So a lot of things I can say about mutual fund, but because of time constraint, I stop here. And I will be welcoming if more and more questions come from the participants, which I will try to answer all of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, if you have any doubts, you can write on chat box, or else directly you can ask to sir by unmuting your option ID.
But before that, I will like Dr. Swami to please give his observation about the session. Mr. Sabdar, please unmute him. Dr. Swami, please give your observations. Mr. Sabdar, please unmute him. Mr. Sabjar. Hello. Mr. Sabjar. खाओ आप। Dr. Spurti, Mr. Sabjar is joining in a minute. He has got disconnected.
Yeah,
He's just joining back.
Yeah. So here is a question, sir.
Yeah.
What is the minimum amount that you need to invest in a mutual fund scheme?
No minimum amount. In SIP, it is 100 rupees for students. For normal investor, it is 500 rupees. And there is no maximum limit. Dr. Spurti can invest 10 lakh rupees in a month.
Yes, dear participants, if any queries, please write on chat box.
Mr. Sabjar, have you joined?
So there is another question, sir.
Yeah.
So one of the investor, since from 1 year, I'm investing monthly on ICICI and Motilal, but now I am finding reduction, that is nearly 11 lakh has been reduced. Do I need to continue in SIP? Now I'm feeling risky in investing SIP.
No, my dear. My dear, in my session, Dr. Spurti, I have specifically mentioned that please do continue for longer period. Forget about the movement. This is temporary phase. When market is down, definitely your investment will also be down. Naturally. But please don't feel disheartened. Please have patience. Continue with your SIP for longer period, minimum 5-10 years. You will have more than reasonable reward.
Another question, sir. What about LIC shares? Are they a worthwhile investment?
LIC is a very strong company. Of course, their share had not been performing well during last 2-3 days. But I personally feel that it is a very good share to pick and hold it for longer period.
Another question. Which is better, SIP or SSP?
Or?
SIP or SSP?
SSP. What do you mean by SSP?
Amrita ma'am.
Amrita ma'am, can you spell out? यार वो सारी परेशानी हो रही है आपकी, जो लोग क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछ पा रहे हैं. Mr. Sabjar, it's time to join. Yeah, Amrita ma'am, can you clarify what is SSP?
Yes, sir. Till that, we'll take another question.
Yeah.
Dr. Jayanti ma'am has asked the investment option for a salaried person.
SIP, mutual fund SIP. If you are a young one like Dr. Spurti and Dr. Shobha, you start an SIP in a good equity fund, large cap equity fund or index fund to start with. And rather you can have more than one SIP. But apart from this, Dr. Shobha, I want to tell all the partners, please do open a public provident fund account if you have not opened so far. It is a very good Government of India scheme. Public provident fund. Please do open a PPF account. It can be opened in any of the bank or post offices. And maximum amount you can deposit in PPF every year is 1.50 lakhs. Minimum is 500 rupees.
Another question. What is something important that we should know before engaging in overnight investment?
Overnight investment means your money will be given for a very temporary period. Nothing is to be seen of. You can identify any of the overnight funds of the mutual fund company. And this is basically temporary parking of your money. Temporary parking. It is not a long-term investor. As I mentioned about liquid fund and overnight fund, Dr. Spurti, it is temporary parking of money and earning better return than your SB account. That's the only purpose.
Another question. Is there any guarantee return for mutual fund?
Not at all. Not at all. Don't expect, if anybody is saying there is a guarantee return, he is not telling you the truth. There is no guarantee. Ma'am, is there any guarantee, Spurti ma'am, of yourself and mine? Is there any guarantee tomorrow we will leave? Then what you are so fussy about the guarantee?
Yeah.
I again repeat, you have to be a long-term investor. Start investing a small amount for longer period. Return will be reasonable. And rather more than that.
Sir, how systematic transfer fund works?
Systematic transfer, suppose, I give you an example. Suppose Dr. Spurti ma'am has got 5 lakh rupees. She has got as a bonus from her employer. There are two options with her. Either she can invest 5 lakh in one go in any of the mutual fund scheme. Or alternatively, what she can do, she can first put this 5 lakh in one liquid fund. And then start investing a particular amount out of 5 lakh. Suppose 40,000 per week, 50,000 per week, or 50,000 per month from liquid fund to the scheme where she intended to invest in some liquid fund. So what will be the benefit? Every week 50,000 will transfer from liquid fund to the equity fund. And the equity fund movement will always be there. So sometimes she will get high unit, more units. Sometimes she will get lower unit, less unit, and there will be overall balancing of that investment. But suppose you invest 5 lakh today in some equity scheme, and tomorrow, Dr. Spurti ma'am, market goes down. So your 5 lakh may become 50 lakhs in a single day. So please don't take that risk. That is why it is systematic transfer plan.
Sir, maximum limit for tax not applicable.
Maximum? Can you repeat the question, please?
Chandrasekhar sir,
Yeah.
can you clarify this question? Maximum limit for tax not applicable.
Tax on what? There is no maximum limit. Well, if you clarify what he wants to know.
Hello. Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
sir.
Yeah.
And your session is very, very wonderful and it is a fruitful, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
For that question, what I am asking is for LTCG, whether it is changing every year or it should be fixed same.
My dear sir, for capital gain, it is better to invest for longer period, then you will be able to get the benefit of long-term capital gain.
Okay.
But you invest for the shorter period, tax liability will be higher because that will be short-term capital gain. So better you invest for the longer period.
Okay, here what I am getting, I am already a servant, government servant.
Okay.
So I am paying already coming under 30% tax.
Okay.
So whether I have to withdraw some amount, I mean some redemption.
No.
Lakhs,
don't withdraw. Don't
lakhs.
withdraw.
No, redemption, sir.
Sir, that is why I am telling you, unless and until you need money, don't withdraw.
No, if urgent only, necessary only, case only, I made a redemption. Then what is the tax? How much?
Sir, if you are withdrawing after investing within 1 year, tax liability will be much higher. If you are withdrawing money after 3-4 years, tax liability will be little bit lesser because of the
after 10 years.
After 10 years, yeah, absolutely. The more period you stay invested, your tax liability will be relatively lesser. This is a simple rule. Yeah, Swarna Lakshmi ma'am.
Sir? Okay, it should be digital. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Swarna Lakshmi ma'am. Bhagyalakshmi ma'am, you were with me right from the beginning. Can you give your observation about the session? Bhagyalakshmi ma'am.
Yeah. Sir, it was very wonderful session, sir. And thank you for imparting us with the systematic investment plan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Here is a question, sir. For tax benefit, which scheme is suitable?
Basically, for tax, again, it question what is your purpose of saving tax. If you want to save income tax, save tax, then ELSS scheme is very good for all of us, where you can invest up to 1.50 lakhs per year, but the blocking period will be 3 years. Please mind it. You can't withdraw the money for next 3 years because you are availing benefit under section 80C.
Another question. So please tell us what is the average return of mutual fund over a period of 15 years?
Average period of mutual fund last 15 years have been, Spurti ma'am, more than 15%. Average annual return. And for security market during last 35 years, the average return has been more than 15%, which no other product has given. Whether it is governmental scheme, whether it is gold, whether it is real estate, any other, it is not comparable. Security market has given the highest return as compared to other products. But again, it is average annual return, not regular return. Bhagyalakshmi ma'am, people get confused because average annual return might go up and down. But when you work out average return for last period of 10, 15, 20 years, security market has given the highest return.
Sir, how to find if any malpractice in mutual fund transaction in future?
You rest assured, mutual funds are strongly regulated by SEBI and it is technologically driven. Human intervention is not much there. Or Bhagyalakshmi ma'am, you will appreciate that over a period of time, technology is driving the businesses as well. So the malpractices, of course, there might be, because when human intervention is there, my dear participants, you will appreciate there is always a possibility of malpractices. That I can't say that it will not be there. But check and balances are there. What I want to mean here, checks and balances are there at every stage. And whenever anything is pointed out or comes to notice, remedial action is immediately taken. This what I can say.
Sir, another question from Venkat sir. Under 80C, IT exemption is rupees 1.5 lakhs. So, but my saving exceeds rupees 3 lakh. Are there any mutual fund to get exemption other than?
No, there is no mutual fund because the limit of 1.50 lakhs, my dear participant, has been set by the income tax department, not by the mutual funds. So that will prevail. That will be overriding effect. No questions are there, I think. Any question from any participant, just raise their hand. Otherwise, we are winding it up.
Yes, sir. Another question.
Yeah.
Whether we will get minimum return instead of bank savings if we opt for mutual fund?
There is no guarantee, firstly, there is no guarantee. But historically speaking, mutual funds have given much better return than compared to bank deposits. Historically speaking.
I guess no more questions.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am. Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. So thank you for your wonderful session, sir. We got to know about mutual fund, debt fund, hybrid fund. So how mutual fund is transparent and what is risk-o-meter scheme? So what are the plans in investment? So categories of mutual funds. So thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful session, sir. Now
Spurti ma'am, on my behalf, I want to thank all of you, particularly you Bhagyesh ma'am and Shobha ma'am and all your core team members. And I would be more than happy to come to your university physically as well when this pandemic is going now. So we can plan physical program as well in your university down the line in future.
Sure, sir. So now I would like to request Bhagya Lakshmi ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of MBA.
In order to have asked for a vote of thanks on the occasion of It's an honor to have been asked to offer a vote of thanks on the occasion of today's national webinar on mutual funds, a tool of prosperity, organized by Department of MBA exclusively for women, Sharnbasava University, in association with AMFI, Association of Mutual Funds India. I, Bhagyalakshmi Koti, on behalf of my department and entire management fraternity, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to His Holiness Vidya Bhandari Puji Dr. Sharnbasava Appaji, Mahadasoha Pithadipati, Sharnbasava Samsthana, President Sharnbasaveshwar Vidyavardhaka Sangha, Chancellor Sharnbasava University, Pujya Matushri Dr. Dakshani S. Appa, Honorable Chairman, Sharnbasava Vidyavardhaka Sangha, Member, Board of Governors, Sharnbasava University, His Holiness Chiranjeevi Pujya Dodappa Appaji, 9th Mahadasoha Pithadipati, Sharnbasaveshwar Samsthana Kalaburagi. I am heartily thankful to patrons of today's webinar, Shri Basraj S. Desmukh, Honorable Secretary Sir, Sharnbasaveshwar Vidyavardhaka Sangha, Member, POG, Sharnbasava University, Dr. Niranjan V. Nishni, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sharnbasava University, Dr. Giri Maitri, Pro Vice Chancellor, Sharnbasava